Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner MetaZone and Rovi, and today we got another Bitmap update phase incoming.
Which one, dude? How many phases are there?
I guess the next phase. I'm sure there's going to be lots of phases, but...
Well, there's only been one phase. I guess phase 0, theoretically, was like the whole Metaverse developing on Ethereum phase.
Okay.
Potentially.
Okay, phase
Maybe.
0, all right.
I'll call it that, right?
Okay.
Pre-standard phase.
Multi-billion-dollar Ethereum,
multi-dollar
metaverses.
Yeah, Metaverse ecosystem, Sandbox, Decentraland, Somnium, Voxel. There's a lot of cool stuff that emerged through phase 0, right? Leveraging blockchain for the Metaverse ownership layer. But that was all fragmentation, siloization.
No standards?
Right, pre-standard. So now we're at phase 1. There's a standard. It's called Bitmap.
Okay.
It's a foundational layer for all of us Metaverse developers to kind of like align and collaborate to build new primitives.
How would you describe Bitmap as a standard, though? Like what makes it a standard?
It's a standard in the sense like that in order to develop like anything that's composable, we're all kind of...
Did you know that we're more than just a YouTube channel? We also built MetaZone, the first app store for the Metaverse. Buy, sell, and explore a new class of digital assets like our flagship game Rovi.ai. Support us by collecting your digital assets through MetaZone at metazone.io. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated. All right, back to the video.
Interlinking everything to, I don't know, a singular framework. That's it. Like, and at this point, it's just like the ID system of like...
Right.
Of the virtual space itself.
And that framework is where the information of the metaverse is non-arbitrary.
Yeah, that's
the
parameters.
The parameters of the metaverse is non-arbitrary.
Well, that's just, I guess, potentially like just the feature of this specific standard, right? I don't think every standard has to have this non-arbitrary like feature to it, but that's what stood out to us the most, right? Because we have that experience during phase 0 where everything was like an arbitrary assignment, right, from some force of people. Yeah. Right? It's like, we're creating a virtual existence layer, and here's the scope and the parameters of that. But it was all predetermined by some dude. Yeah. Somewhere. Yeah. Right? And Bitmap is the first example of, sourcing that information.
What's interesting about that non-arbitrariness is that it mimics real life. Like, we exist in an environment that's non-arbitrary.
Right.
The reasons we exist from a physics standpoint is because of the parameters of the environment, right? We got gravity, we got oxygen, like all the physical elements that allow us to be here. Yeah. Right. That's a non-arbitrary feature of our existence.
Pretty much. And that's what I think better. At least it's something new that we could tap into as an ecosystem to derive new value from, right? Something that hasn't been attempted, a non-arbitrary field of existence in the digital space, and like, let's see what we could do with that. So Bitmaps is that foundational standard to it. Now we have to build literally the matter of this virtual space on top of that, right? Right. Like, the material stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're at. Now phase 1 was,
Bitmap.
Getting the Bitmap out there. We hit the block out. Now we're entering or about to hit the phase 2 stage, which is, I don't know. I guess we're speculating here because we're kind of relying on Bitoshi in the next few days or however long it takes for him to kind of like drop the beginnings of stage 2, right? Or the next phase.
Yeah. So, for example, he referenced one of our videos. He says, next phase is coming. So this is July 4th. It says, the block runner talking about the importance of indexers like Trac.
That Trac video did very well, by the way.
Yeah.
Fucking insane. Trac did like a 5x or something after that video. Yeah. Pretty wild.
And convoluted systems must be built on solid foundations, and they discuss the implications of these proposed solutions from the community. Mm-hmm. So he says next phase is incoming, and then just yesterday, or July 7th, it says next phase is close, and then yesterday he finally tweets, my next tweet will be a big announcement, notifications on. So that was July 8th. Today is July 9th. Or 11th. Yeah.
Damn, you're way off. You got your days way off.
I'm definitely way off.
So a few days ago. So it's been a few days since Bitoshi's last tweet, and he's saying the next one is going to be the biggie, right? Yeah. So if you've been following Bitoshi's Twitter account as we have since the beginning, he's pretty active.
Yeah, it is.
He's quite the tweeter.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you look at his tweet thread, there's a bunch of retweets of like the community just coming up with some cool stuff for Bitmap. Yeah. Like, check out this guy from Regen or Argen.
Oh, wow. what the hell is this, dude? This looks fucking sick.
Yeah.
What is it though? I guess nobody knows. It just says hashtag Bitmap. He's cooking.
Yeah.
They're out there cooking, lads.
Yeah.
That's what TJ shaking said. I don't know why, but I don't know. Everyone's out there doing something.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff happening. So basically he's just like retweeting, the community just coming up with cool stuff. Look at this. Pokemon. Bitmap.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, but he also does a lot of tweets on his own, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty rare to see him this silent. So he's working on something. So let's speculate, right? What is this next stage? We've already been through phase 1 and 0.
Yeah. So naturally it would be that now that Bitmap districts are out there, the next phase would be parcels.
Has to be, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, unless, I don't know, we just figured out some new utility for the blocks itself, which is possible. But as of right now, as far as where the Bitmap standard is like going, like the community as a collective, we're leveraging this data to provision us a virtual existence layer, right? That's what the whole Bitmap theory suggests, right? But from our perspective, it's not limited to just that, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin block data can source much more value in the future, but
correct.
As of right now, this whole ecosystem is focused on this.
Yeah, and from the beginning, since we discovered Bitmap, he was always talking about basically two different standards: the Bitmap standard and then the parcel inscription standard.
That's true.
And so, like, this has been a long time coming. And then in this video, we suspected the reason is because the only way to do parcel inscriptions is to rely on a decentralized indexer, and that's why they partnered with Trac.
Yeah, I guess that's why.
And that's why we did our video to like understand what Trac is and like how it works and what it means, and that's how we know it's important to have an indexer.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because there's a lot of verification, I guess, that's needed, ownership verification for this, because everybody who owns a Bitmap has the rights according to the Bitmap theory, right? It was in the original Git book.
Yeah.
For Bitmap, it's like the whole point is you have ownership of these blocks that have these visualization components of the parcels themselves, which in a sense that is like the arbitrariness of the Bitmap itself is it's the actual display, the rendering of what the transaction volume represents.
Like, it doesn't have to be a square. It could be just a long line of parcels, right? I mean, it just depends on how you decide to display them.
Yeah, and who knows in the future, there might be new standards of like display standards, visualization standards. But the point is, it's all going to be sourced by the data that exists on that block, no matter what. So it's up to anybody can propose a new standards. Like, we should be visualizing our bitmaps as fucking
like 3D blocks.
What do they call those? Tesseracts.
Yeah.
Was that like a 5D thing or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a bad idea. We wouldn't even be able to wrap our heads around that, for one, I guess. But you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, they could look like any shape, right? It doesn't have to be a square.
But right now, we're all referencing bitfeed.live to generate like the base layer standard of display and visualization of like what is the actual parameters of space in this digital existence layer. So so the next phase we're assuming has to do with unlocking all of our power. Like, now we could all start to inscribe these little segments of ownership within our bitmaps.
And so we've mentioned in the past that there's a chance that Bitmap can onboard 1 million Bitmap holders. And this is the way to do it, right? All these parcels can be held by 1 million different people.
Yeah.
And everyone is essentially holding a piece of real estate on top of Bitcoin. Yeah.
I totally agree. And we've already seen other projects attempt to release their own parcel inscription standards because, they're all waiting for it.
Yeah.
Because it is the next step, like
Speaking of one of the founders of Bliss, or maybe two of them, they hit us up on Twitter, so we should probably talk to them and see what they were.
I would love to talk to those guys and anybody who thinks they have some sort of variant.
Yeah, these guys are from Haste Games. Yeah,
Haste Arcade.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would love to talk to them about that. Because it's important figuring out this next stage and parcel inscription processes and stuff like that. Because there might be different interpretations. Who knows? Bitoshi's framework that he lays out, somebody might think there's a better way to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Technically, just like when Domo put out BRC20 tokens, the standard, it was kind of like an experimental stage.
Yeah.
Even in the Git book itself, he's like, hey, this might not be the best way to do it, but this is like just an experiment, guys. So like, here it is. And he put forth like how to inscribe the first BRC20 tokens, and it just blew up from there.
Yeah.
But like we saw, we covered a lot of these, BRC20 variants. They were technically better.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
They had like, considerations that made things more efficient, but no adoption. Right. So
yeah,
this is going to be interesting to see how this pans out.
For sure. So yeah, like you said, the next phase is coming, and we suspect it's going to be parcel inscriptions. And then, let's see, there's another thing that I wanted to show here. Oh, it's the Bitmap dev. So it says just rolled out a nice little update to prep for phase 2. Added vertical view, jump straight to a block, direct links to your block. Added BAPS.
Bitmap apps, dude.
Bitmap apps. Added bitmap theory provided by Gitbook. Fixed off by one error, and then small fixes.
See, at first when he said bitmap apps, I got a little like, what, WTF, mate?
Yeah.
Because they'll sound like metas, If you know anything about our histories, like we developed the first apps of the metaverse, on the Ethereum side, specifically in Decentraland. They're called metas.
Yeah.
They are installable little applications that are basically functional content that people can interact with, and you can own them and deploy them, whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought when I first saw that too, I was like, damn, dude, they like skipped forward 5 years of development.
That's right.
But that's not what they're talking about, right?
Yeah. So let's take a look. So they have a link here with BAPS. This is one of them is be the bitmap, which is what we're using for Twitter.
Yeah.
Bitmap.wtf.
So that was the big.
Yeah. Countdown clock.
Yeah, so I guess there's really no point to that. Well, no. Is there a point to that?
Well, there is. It'll tell you if there's a new block that's being added that's open.
Right. And didn't you say you saw there was a point in time where you saw like 4 or 5 that were unclaimed?
I think we were recording a video and it happened to get to 4. So
see, that's interesting. So there's still there is still like a point to be waiting around every 10 minutes roughly.
Yeah. I mean, every day is a new block out. If you think about it.
Yeah. Well, there's like many blockouts within a day, right?
Yeah.
144.
Yeah.
Something like that. But so I don't know. That's a good, and I would think just buy one on secondary if you really want one instead of like trying to compete for that.
Yeah.
But there's still sometimes you want to check. There's a few unclaimed from time to time.
Looks ordinal bitmap.build. So this is a voxel style demo preview into a blocky bitmap world. That's interesting. Bitmap Verify, you use that tool to look at your own Bitcoin address?
Yeah, I was using that one over the weekend. It's I got all verified bitmaps, so actually, you know what? I think one I accidentally bitmap 90.bitmap. Mm-hmm. I thought I was the owner of that one, and then I verified it myself manually before this tool.
Yeah.
And I was the second one to inscribe that one.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But this tool told me that I was the authentic owner of 90.bitmap, so I'm a little confused.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This one?
So there's a little bit of, the indexer is not 100% yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So that means you verified it on Unisat?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know, maybe let me re-verify again.
Yeah.
Because I would be nice if I was the true owner of 90.bitmap.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the last one here is Ord's Rush. Build recursive on-chain games on your bitmap. So yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah.
So definitely check all these out just to see what's being cooked up here. So this might be like a repository of like all the different tools that the bitmap community is building. So this is going to be very helpful.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. This is going to be like a
representation of input from the community.
Yeah. Just there has to be something like this, right? We have to aggregate community effort for everything, right? Because this is as like as far as like a Web3 attempt at building some sort of metaverse layer. Like this is as close to the ethos as it should be, right? Like everyone's
this is actual collaboration amongst everybody in the community.
Right. So anybody can build anything. And like I said, any new primitive that can add value to like that foundational bitmap layer, right? That's the point. This auth tool, this authorization tool, could be very valuable. Maybe like future dApps.
Sure.
Every single one of them might plug into that in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think this bitmap verify tool was built by the same person who did bitmap.wtf.
That's right. I think, we should probably shout out that team or organization. I think
let's click on this. I think it has a link to here it goes. Ordinals OS.
Shout out Ordinal OS for the hard work, dude. That's pretty impressive. Like putting out all these valuable tools. So we need more devs like this. 100%.
Yeah. So it says I made a tool to help organize inscriptions. It will be updated soon. Drop a request. I wonder if he's tapped into Trac here.
Most likely.
Trac is like the leading indexer for Bitmap, so I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, I would take a leap and say yes, most likely. Otherwise, it's going to be like a centralized indexer process, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, right on, dude. So yeah, shout out again, Ordinal OS, and of course all the other developers adding to this list. We will be featured at some point. I don't know exactly when.
Yes.
But we're gonna keep you guys in suspense until then. But if you've been watching us over the last few weeks, we've been dropping.
Yeah, we've already talked about it.
Yeah, I think we talked about it in length in one of our podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna keep talking about it because we are anticipating this next stage just like all of you guys.
Yeah, next phase, dude. We're gonna onboard 1 million people, right? At least there's a chance to.
Well, that should be like the goal of the whole ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Is to get as many people like part of, owners of this foundational bitmap layer, right? Because then that's going to just broaden the scope of contribution and collaboration and experimentation, because that's what you want. You want more and more people just
it's like
tinkering. Right?
Think about the internet in the 80s all the way to the 90s. Like everything was an experiment. People were trying all kinds of things.
Yeah, in a sense, that's what Web3 is too, right? Like everything feels like an experiment. Every now and then, one of these experiments just like blows up. Like I don't know, NFTs at one point was an experiment.
Right.
Fucking just blew up.
Yeah.
Turned into like a $60 billion market. Like what felt like almost overnight, but really it took like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. An overnight success took a decade basically.
And the metaverse is like a 4 or 5 year phenomena. It's been. I don't think it's. Technically, it hasn't really blown up yet. It's had its moments.
Yeah, it did.
So who knows, dude? This might be that experiment.
Dude, if we bring on 1 million people on top of Bitmap, that's the biggest accomplishment in the metaverse so far.
I would think so too. I think the biggest metaverse, as far as like onboarded participants, or at least owner participants,
holders is
Sandbox.
Right? 23,000.
Wow. So we're already almost there. We just need to unlock like 1 or 2% of like parcels. And have actual unique owners to them.
Yeah, it's like maybe like 10 bitmaps. That's like 10,000.
10 fully like occupied bitmaps.
Yeah, 10.
That's not that much.
10
dude.
out of 800,000, dude.
Yeah. So I guess that's what we're all working towards next, right? That is going to be the next stage. Instead of all of us, rooting for the next blockout, or I guess the blockout. Now it's like.
It's like
an occupy countdown.
Yeah.
How many of these parcels are occupied and how many are not? Dude, that's gonna take a while though.
Yeah, it's like what's the theory? A bar. It's like
it's
0.001%.
Even if you get 1 million like unique, or I guess 1 million parcels inscribed, how many would be left? Like in
1 million inscribed parcels
out of 800,000 roughly.
Well,
blocks.
if you do 2,000 transactions per block
that's
on
like,
average.
Let's take an average, yeah.
And let's disregard the first 100,000 because
that's right.
They have like roughly 1 block on average.
So let's call 700,000 times 2, right?
Yeah.
So wait.
That's 1.4 billion parcels on average.
Shit. Okay, so like 1 million parcels would be like not even 1%.
Not even 1%.
Wow. Okay, that's gonna be one hell of a long like occupied countdown, dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna all be like, let's go for like a while, dude. But it's possible, right? There are billions of users on the internet.
I feel like that's something to work towards though. Like 1 million holders.
Yeah. Of course. So but still, like that's just overall. That's like rooting for like occupying the internet, right? It's gonna take probably 15, 20 years. Yeah,
I think there's like 1.3 billion websites. And obviously only like a few thousand of them get like, 50%.
How many websites?
1.3 billion.
Dude, that's like perfectly aligned with how many bitmaps. Like, that is like one hell of a coincidence.
Yeah, it is.
So
weird.
like we already have like all of the websites of the metaverse theoretically.
Yeah.
Already in existence. People already own them essentially, or at least like the server space to like launch them, which are the bitmaps. So but how many websites actually have traffic?
Like at least half of them have some traffic.
Okay, well, how many do you have like significant traffic?
Well, it's like the top 1% have most of the traffic.
So then the 1% is really what matters. Then that is a viable countdown. Like 1.4 million.
So 1.4 billion. 1% of that. So we're looking at 14 million.
Oh shit. Okay, my math was way off, dude.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot of work to go. We got a long way to go, lads.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, this is one hell of a start.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, that's one hell of a worthy, goal. 1 million holders. All right, that's it for us, guys. If you have anything you want us to talk about, let us know in the comment section below. Follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner, at MetaZone.io, and at Roby AI, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.